Hello and welcome from me, Tim Hutchings, to Eurosport's coverage of these 25th IAAF World Cross Country Championships, the silver jubilee of this event, which has been going in one form or another since 1903. That was when the first International Cross Country Championships was held in Hamilton Park in Glasgow. Well, that was really just the home countries in the UK meeting, and for many years it only involved Belgium and France. Now, of course, this is a major world sport. Cross country, like the rest of athletics, involves every continent and the most countries on the globe. Some 80 countries taking part in these championships. First off, the women's race in the Parco del Valentino in Turin, the hometown of the IAAF president Primo Nebbiolo. The distance for these women, 6.5 kilometers, just over 6.5 kilometers. It's been a venue for cross-country races since the turn of the century, this park, right alongside the River Po. Very, very picturesque park indeed. In fact, originally designed as an ornamental garden to grace the city of Turin, which 143 years ago, when the park was built, was due to become the capital of Italy. Well, a very open race, this, far more so indeed than the men's race is expected to be as the athletes get underway. They've got 200 or 300 meters of flat ground ahead of them across this field, the biggest open area in the entire park. It is a course that has been constructed really over the last few days with the spending of almost $1 million by the IAAF. Turf and soil has been placed over a 2-kilometer circuit around the park, in fact a 1900-meter circuit around the park. And much of the course, the vast majority of the course, the athletes, where you see them running, is in fact a road surface with soil and the turf placed on top of it. Well, it's always fast and furious, this women's race, and these early meters looking to be no exception in this women's race. Big pack just sorting itself out there. They certainly need all that width, don't they? You wouldn't say it's too wide. 140 there is Sally Barsocchio. Been in very good form indeed on the cross-challenge circuit. So 6.5 kilometers for these women then, and of course additional significance to this race for the elite, the women expecting to finish in the top half dozen, and the same in the men's as well, with the introduction of major prize money by the IAAF for all their championships. But that includes this race, $40,000 to the winner in this event, $20,000 to second, and then 15, 10, 7 and 5 going down to 6th place. Katrina McKiernan there, almost tripping in the centre of that lineup, wearing 108 for Ireland. Sonia O'Sullivan, 109, her teammate, and Paula Radcliffe there from Britain up to the front pretty early on. Sonia O'Sullivan, of course, taking second place 2 weeks ago in the World Indoor Championships over 3,000 metres. And rather fancies her chances on this course. It's a very fast circuit, very nice surface indeed underfoot for running. And these athletes making the most of it. It's a very fast start, this. And it really is a war of attrition, if you like, at this level nowadays, the World Cross Country. Fast from the gun, very little tactical awareness needed, particularly in this women's race, which is so much shorter than the men's. Just over half the distance of the men's race, that's all. Now O'Sullivan looking very confident, very lean, suntanned after spending much of this winter training in Australia. Has gone out with a lot of confidence here, really. Has laid out her stall so early. Slight uphill stretch here with a group of 4 Kenyans behind her. Paula Radcliffe there in 6th place, looking very smooth indeed. She too has been away training in the sunshine, but in Albuquerque in Mexico, New Mexico. It's had a month training at altitude there, and speaking to her just a couple of days ago, Paula was saying that she feels she's in as good a shape as ever, that she's capable of getting down towards her British record time for 5,000 if she were called upon to run a track race right now. That's 14:45. That's her to the right of picture. And certainly she too has got herself sorted out well in these early stages. Well, O'Sullivan has really taken this race to the opposition after just, what, less than 4 minutes of running. 1 kilometre came up in exactly 3 minutes, and already the cream is rising to the top. The Kenyans and Ethiopians up there in force, so Sullivan and Radcliffe leading the European Challenge. Stay with us. A group of some 12 or 13 athletes has broken away now. Just over 12 minutes on the clock in this women's race, which is expected to last around 20 minutes. The running has continued to be fast and furious. Katrina McKiernan, who has finished second in this race no less than 4 times, has pushed her way up to the front now. That kilometre up to 4K running 3:13, bringing them round in 12:36. So it's one of the slower kilometre splits, but I'm very impressed with Paula Radcliffe there. Looking very, very smooth indeed. Of course, a former winner of the World Junior title back in the snows of Boston in 1992. Although there's formidable opposition in this group, including a couple of Ethiopians who have tasted gold in this championship before. That's the leaders through the various splits. So Sullivan leading the early stages. Then Sally Barsosio took her tone. Winner of the Kenyan Championships, by the way, Barsosio. There she is wearing 140, and a convincing winner of that too. But I was saying, Getawami won it last year. That's her nearest the camera. Wami for Ethiopia, wearing 67 in that green strip with the red shorts. And in the center of picture, wearing 70, is Daratu Tulu. In fact, Dembodward is wearing 70, excuse me, Tulu on the far side wearing 65. The three of them, in fact, making a very, very strong challenge for the team title in this race. Of course, it's 4 to score, so their 4th scorer absolutely vital. But regarding the individual title, Tulu winning it a couple of years ago in Durham, in the northeast of England. And then last year when she lost a shoe halfway through the race, and therein losing the race, really. Her teammate Wami went on to take the gold. Tulu's legs to the right there. Of course, the Olympic 10,000 meters champion back in 1992. A woman who's had a lot of injury problems over the years. There's O'Sullivan beginning to lose ground now, looking a little troubled. Fidatov, who leads the IAAF Cross Challenge circuit, scoring at the moment. Lucy Elliott there goes through. But all these athletes really beginning to struggle now in the wake of this lead group, which is breaking down all the time. Vaquero of Spain wearing 55, a woman who's taken silver in the European cross-country championships before now. Looking very comfortable at the front there. So is Radcliffe and McKiernan. Indeed, the European Challenge very, very strong in this one, far stronger than the one expected in the men's race. And Radcliffe now gets her nose in front, obviously confident, looking very, very fluent indeed. So there's 3 Africans in that shot, a couple of Ethiopians and Barsosio there in the black and white of Kenya. And then the three Europeans. Radcliffe over on the far side in this shot. Vaquero, so consistent on the cross-challenge circuit, and indeed on the track as well. She was 9th in Atlanta in the 10,000 meters last summer. And McKiernan, who has also had her injury problems in the last couple of years, indeed missed most of 1995 and part of 1996 with knee problems. Good crowds, as you can see, for this event. Nebbiolo saying he wanted to bring it into the city centre. As you can see, that 5-kilometre split come up 15:45. It is fast. Nebbiolo wanted to bring these events into the city centre. He said, if we can't get the people to go a long way out of town to the fields, then we'll bring the athletes into the town. And indeed, on this occasion, bring the fields into the town as well on this man-made course. And it seems to have worked. Very good crowds on many sections of this course. Special laying machine, turf laying machine, brought in from Canada specifically for this event. 4,000 cubic meters of turf, we understand, laid on the course for this event. And you can see those 5 athletes maintaining a very good tempo on what is obviously a solid surface. There are rubber mats covering the road surface, then between 50 and 30 centimeters of soil, and then the turf laid on top of that. So they really have gone to an awful lot of trouble to make sure it's a good surface for the athletes. Well, McKiernan struggling now off the back of this group. Paula Radcliffe wearing 85 with that bobbing head action of hers. Says she's unaware of it happening when she runs, can't help it. A lot of people have questioned her about it in the years, saying perhaps it's not particularly helpful biomechanically, but doesn't seem to have bothered her. She's had some great results over the last 2 or 3 years, Radcliffe. In particular, finishing 5th in that Olympic 5,000 metres final last summer, where she ran herself out. McKiernan coming through now. I don't think it's going to be silver today for her. Surely we're going to see the medalists, or the winner at least, from this group. And it's Barsosio doing all the aggressive running at the moment, wearing 140. Young woman who at the age of 15 took a medal in the World 10,000 metres Championships in Stuttgart in '93. Well, that was 4 years ago. She's matured nicely, still a teenager, but looking very, very strong here. Wami in the red shorts to the left of picture, looking to retain that title she lifted on the playing fields of Stellenbosch last year. Beautiful, warm, sunny conditions in South Africa 1 year ago. Well, it's rather cloudy in northern Italy today, but conditions otherwise perfect, both underfoot and weather-wise. There's O'Sullivan going through with a couple of Kenyans for company. That was Jane Amoro wearing 141. But the pace very, very fast indeed on this downhill section. There's been no let-up whatsoever. 1K in 3 minutes, 2 kilometres in 6:09, 3 kilometres in 9:23. They've been banging out kilometre splits of almost exactly 3 minutes, one after the other. Coming up towards 6 kilometres now, and Wami has cut loose. And the chase is on in earnest. The chase towards the finish line, that is, because they're coming up towards the end of this one. Remember, it's only 6,580 metres. They've got about 500 metres to go, the leaders. 18:45 at 6 kilometres. And Wami there, striding out in that beautifully smooth action of hers. Radcliffe beginning to struggle, but holding on to second place. Barsosio in third. Doratu Tulu is in fourth. She's a fast finisher. Has she got enough left? And Vaquero, the Spaniard, really feeling the pace now, dropping back in 5th place. Look at Wami though, galloping along. She looks majestic. Has she judged it right? There still doesn't seem to be a sprint on. Radcliffe gradually hauling her in, giving it everything now. That head rolling from side to side. Wami checks over both shoulders. Is she holding something in reserve? Radcliffe, not renowned as a fast finisher, she'll have enjoyed this race. It's been run exactly the way she'd have wanted, fast and furious from the gun, but now in the finishing straight, it's between these women. Wami to the left, glances over her shoulder again. Radcliffe, desperate to add a senior title to that junior one, won 5 years ago, and she hits the front. Radcliffe in front, Wami in second, Tulu, Barsosio and Vaquero back up behind, fighting out for that third medal. But look at Tulu, all in green. Doratu Tulu of Ethiopia has passed Wami, her teammate, who looks to be finished now and is challenging Radcliffe for that gold medal. Big crowds down this home straight. Paula Radcliffe, does she know that the former Olympic champion at 10,000 is on her shoulder, and indeed now eases past? This is a long, long finishing straight. Certainly it appears that Wami in the red shorts misjudged it. Has Radcliffe misjudged it as well? One thing's for sure, Doratu Tulu looks to have got it plumb on, dead right. She's going to come in for yet another world cross-country title. To add to that, she won in 1995 in Durham. She is the 1997 world cross-country champion. Doratu Tulu of Ethiopia takes gold, a marvellous silver for Paula Radcliffe. That is absolutely fabulous for her. Bronze for Wami, fourth for Vaquero from Spain. And all of those women have run themselves out. That was a long, hard finishing straight. I think maybe took them a little by surprise. Coming in now, Barsosio, it was who grabbed 5th. Denboba in 6th. McKiernan there finishing in 7th place for Ireland. Mugo in 8th for Kenya. Great packing by the Kenyans. Sonia O'Sullivan in 9th. Well, the Irish are looking good here too. Jane Amoro in 10th place. Lydia Jeremiah in 11th. And that seals up the team race for the Kenyans, I think. Fidatov and Barsosio, Adere and Sandel all crossing the line there. But Doratu Tulu gets the gold back that she missed last year. Lost a shoe, remember, halfway round the course, just when it was beginning to hot up in South Africa. Ended up coming back into 5th place, but takes gold today ahead of Radcliffe of Britain and Wami, her teammate, from Ethiopia. There's the positions for 9th to 16th. And I can tell you that Ethiopia have taken the team title, 24 points, with 1st, 3rd, 6th and 14th. Kenya 2nd, Ireland the bronze medals in the women's team race, and Great Britain finish in 4th place. Marvellous packing by the Brits. 2nd, Paula Radcliffe, 18th, Lucy Elliott, 22nd, Hayley Haining, and Angela Davies 4th scorer with 56th place. And the medalists on the rostrum there. Join us after this break for the men's race.